Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm really excited to see what the runes have to say for this week ahead. But of course, before we get into it, just a little bit about the astrological energy that we're dealing with. So as you guys know, we have Mars in Gemini in retrograde for the next couple of months. That's going to be until January. So of course, please be advised and be aware of your conversational skills, of the ways in which not only you converse with others, but how you converse with yourself. It's about allowing ourselves to understand when battles are appropriate to have. When is it appropriate to fight for ourselves, to defend ourselves? When is it appropriate to maintain our boundaries or to give a little ground? How do we relate to ourselves, especially when it comes to making sure that we're cared for, right? In a way that's not only beneficial to us, but is respectful of others. So we also have just had the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. So I'm sure that must have been really powerful for a lot of us. The themes around that moon, or around the energy that we are still experiencing, because I think we will still experience the energy or the residual energy of this moon that just passed yesterday on November 8th. We're going to be feeling that for the rest of this week, perhaps even into next week. And the themes around this lunar eclipse, as it closed off the cycle of eclipses for this year, for 2022, the energy behind it was all about connecting to our inner sense of self, understanding who we are, reevaluating the foundations of our emotional lives, and taking stock of what is serving us and what isn't serving us, what is working for us and what isn't working for us, and being able to parse those aspects of our emotional lives and then be able to clip the weeds and to water the flowers. It's a lot about connecting to our inner heart. So with that in mind, we'll see what the runes have to say. I'm pretty excited because it feels like November has been giving me an energy of great abundance, and also a feeling of kind of getting excited for things. A little bit of competition, a little bit of waking oneself up. It's kind of like saying, come on, get going, you got this. Come on, I don't know why are you sleeping, why are you on the floor? Levántate. Which in Spanish means like get up, right? Like get up, allow yourself to experience things, right? November feels very galvanizing is the word that keeps coming to mind. It's kind of like lighting a fire underneath the cauldron and watching things bubble. So that's really exciting. We're also in the month of the yew tree in the Celtic calendar. So again, more about transformation, sacredness, awareness of our boundaries, and the like. You can find out more on my newsletter, Solace, which feel free to subscribe to. You can find the subscribing link on my Instagram. Let's see. What? Yes. I like that. Well, okay. Wow. That's it. Whoop. So a lot of energy for all of us. It feels very exciting. Very. We could be having a very busy week ahead. And perhaps what I'm feeling also is a very busy month for a lot of us. Whether it's socially or spiritually, but it really does feel like social things, being connected with friends, family. I know for many of us here in the States, we will be many people do celebrate Thanksgiving here. I personally do not, just because of the cultural connotations of it, though I do go to see my family because my family does celebrate. But I personally, I'm like, nah. But I do understand that it's a a time for people to get together, for family. So definitely a lot about social connection, social engagement. And a lot of it feels very expansive, right? I feel that for many of us, some of you may be in school, so it may be a really busy time, maybe just preparing for midterms or preparing for final season, which is coming up in December. So good luck, guys. I feel like for some of you as well, the energy that I'm getting is like a lot of new projects, new people coming into the workplace, new opportunities coming for in terms of business, new travel for some of us. Some of us may be going to places that we've never been before, travel-wise. I'm also feeling, yeah, there's just a lot of newness and a lot of pushing forward. It feels like this is the energy that I would get in spring. This kind of, the flowers pushing through the dirt, right? That's the energy that I get. And also during the pre-meditation while I was shuffling, I heard this song called Pink Blood by Utada Hikaru. It was very beautiful, but the lyrics in English that I remembered was I can't stay a child forever, and I don't really feel like growing old. And I kind of really like that, because it feels like allowing yourself to take life into your own hands, to recognize that you have the power that maybe you did not have when you were a child, of course, right? Your capacity for effectuating your agency in every aspect of your life is so much more salient than it was when you were a child. But the child energy offers the greatness of the imagination and the greatness of it, like feeling what could be, even if it may not feel real in this moment. And then allowing yourself in this present moment as the adult to recognize your power, your capacity to maintain your boundaries, to work towards your goals. And this feels very much like this for this month, working towards our goals, allowing ourselves to be happy. And I know that sounds like a weird thing, to allow yourself to be happy, because you think to yourself, of course everyone wants to be happy, right? But it's not always as simple as that, right? Happiness is something that is a state of being. It's a constant state of awareness. Happiness is something that you must cultivate in one's life. And so, like any garden, it takes nurturing, right? Nurturing of one's own soul. And that nurturing is a choice, right? It's a choice to wake up in the morning and nurture yourself. It's a choice to wake up in the morning and go out and tend to your garden. It's a choice to sit down and say, I deserve water, I deserve sunlight, I deserve peace. Like, these are our birthrights, but we have to realize our power to effectuate it in our life, to make it happen, right? So a lot of energy for this week. So we're starting off with Lagos in the center. So we have Lagos here. Lagos is the rune of the lake. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's the rune of the lake. Which is about our emotional depth. It's about creative energy. So some of us may be feeling extremely creative today into tomorrow, since this is the beginning of the week, considering that it's centered in the middle of the rune table. So today, Wednesday into Thursday, we may have a lot of creative potential, a lot of deep emotional awareness of ourselves. We may be realizing things about ourselves that we may not have considered before. And then we have later on Isa, which is the rune of ice, and Sowilo, the rune of the sun. Now these are more, how do I say this? These are closer to Friday and Saturday energy. So this Lagos, this creative force that's within us, this creative energy that we're feeling this week, is essentially oscillating between bouts of creative potential, bouts of creative energy of this fire coming through with Sowilo, and also the ice, the solidification, the manifestation, the slowness, right? We have to realize that all of our creative potential requires patience. It requires allowing the fire to spark, grow, and then tend to it. Tending to our flames, right? Tending to this creative energy that we've been feeling this week, and creating more out of that. So I'm getting the feeling of saying yes to opportunities this week that you may not have considered before. So for example, if someone invites you to an event that you may not have considered before, it may be really beneficial to say yes this week. Just because I'm seeing here Sowilo and Isa coming together to make the Spanish word sí, which means yes. So saying yes to life, yes to the world around us, yes to our experiences, or yes to new experiences. We also have towards the end of the week, so this is the feeling that I'm getting is after the weekend, or towards Sunday, after the weekend into Monday, Tuesday energy. I'm seeing here Gebo, which is the rune of the gift or equivalent exchange. Inguas, which is the rune of the earth, the rune of centering and grounding. And then we have Fehu, which is the rune of abundance, wealth, and prosperity. And seeing these all together for the later half of the week, it feels to me that we are solidifying into our lives, grounding into the blessings that we deserve, grounding into the things that we never thought we could have, but are now slowly arriving into our lives. Perhaps slowly unfurling is the word that comes to mind, as if a rose that's blooming, slow but steady. And we're allowing ourselves to ground into these blessings, to ground into our joy, to ground into our happiness. So to wrap up the energy of this week, it's going to be really socially engaging for many of us. So again, new friends, new experiences, new events, perhaps, that we may be engaging with this week. It feels very creative, so we may be having creative sparks. Pay attention to your dreams at this time. If you are into dream journaling, please do so. It feels that the dreams are going to come in with very unique symbolism and semiotic importance for you this week. And then we also have the saying yes to new opportunities, allowing ourselves to understand the oscillation between the creative fervor, the sunlight, the blessing, the kind of striking of the fire. So creating poems, creating art, painting, doing digital art, whatever it is that you do. And then you have the Isa, the ice, the slowness, allowing for the process, allowing for these creative thoughts to crystallize into something solid, to become something real, right? And then later in the week, allowing ourselves to ground into the blessings, to ground into equivalent exchange, allowing for your community to be there for you. I'm also getting a very specific message for someone to reach out to your community for assistance, because there is a lot more available to you than you realize. So, hope that resonates for you guys. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next week here on the channel. All right? Bye, everyone.